This is lesson 2 on page 17, using ink to hand draw elements. Some information is best conveyed visually. Complex processes and high-level concepts are often difficult to communicate to an audience. You typically have a limited amount of time to conduct a presentation. As such, presenters have often relied on diagrams, flowcharts, math equations, and other visual representations to make difficult subject matter clear and easy to quickly digest. The downside of these visuals has traditionally been that they are difficult and time-consuming to produce, and often require the assistance of graphic designers. PowerPoint includes a robust set of tools that make creating and modifying custom drawings and mathematical equations quick and easy. Becoming familiar with the onboard inking tools in PowerPoint will save you valuable development time and free up precious time during your presentation by allowing you to simplify complex information. In this lesson, you will draw objects and write math equations. So topic A on page 18 is drawing objects. PowerPoint has a robust set of tools to help you create visually stunning presentations, but sometimes you want something that feels more personal. You can use the ink features of PowerPoint to draw on your slides and create presentations that will stand out from the crowd. PowerPoint offers you the option of drawing objects by hand during your slide creation. You need to add the Draw tab to the ribbon to be able to access the drawing tools. You can add pens, pencils, and highlighters of different colors and different thickness. Pens can either be a solid color or have a special effect. The pencils have an effect that makes them look like the variable shading of a graphite pencil. You can draw using a mouse or your finger on a touchscreen computer. You can draw and write anything you like. You are only limited by your ability to create using a mouse, stylus, or finger. With hand-drawn shapes, you have the option to convert them into PowerPoint standard shapes. Text remains handwritten unless it is a math equation, which can also be converted to text on the Draw tab. So you'll see how to add first the Draw tab here. I have an empty presentation open right now, and you can see on my ribbon I do not have the Draw tab added as of yet. So we need to customize our ribbon. If I right click, here I have the option to customize the ribbon. You can also access this same, if I click on that, this opens up my PowerPoint options. You can also access this by going to your File tab and in your Backstage view selecting options from here and then going to Customize Ribbon. So right-clicking and selecting Customize Ribbon is just a quicker way to access this. Now over in the Customize Ribbon section, all the items that are checked off are tabs that appear on your ribbon. And you can see here that Draw is unchecked. So I'm going to check that off and click OK. And now you can see my third ribbon tab. I have Home, Insert, and then Draw. And the Draw tab has a few command groups. You have your Tools group, and this has commands for drawing, erasing, and selecting hand-drawn objects on your slide. You have the Pens group. This has commands for switching between your customized pens, pencils, and highlighters, and also adding new ones. Then you have your Stencils group, and this is for adding a ruler to your slide to help with drawing straight lines and aligning hand-drawn objects. Then you have your Convert your Convert command group, and this has commands for converting hand-drawn shapes into PowerPoint shapes and hand-drawn math equations into text. So we're going to start with our Pens group. Here you may only have the first three, a black pen. You can hover over to get what this is. This is a 1/2 millimeter black pen. This is a 1/2 millimeter red pen. Here I have a 6mm yellow highlighter, and also this is something that I added myself, a 10mm lavender highlighter. So if I click on this first option for the pen, you can see my cursor changes to kind of like a little black dot, and I can just draw directly on the slide. So you can draw whatever you want, text, shapes, whatever you want. And if you have a touch screen, this is me using the touch screen instead of my mouse, you can also draw with that as well. Now with that pen selected, you can see I have a drop down arrow here. Up at the top gives you a preview of what your line will look like. In the next section is the thickness. So I could increase the thickness. You can see the preview changes of that. And when I bring that over to my slide, you can see how that changes as well. You can also change the color if you want. So that's a pen option. This is a highlighter option. You could just click and drag to highlight something if you wanted to. And it has the same options. It's just you can see that how the actual cursor is. The pen is starts as a little dot, and as you increase the thickness becomes more of a circle, and the highlighter is kind of like a bar. Think of it as the tips of an actual pen or highlighter. Here you have the option to add a pen, so you can add a default one that you want to keep up top on in your command group, and you have the option of pencil, pen, and highlighter. So we saw what the pen and highlighter looks like. Let's take a look at what a pencil looks like. So it adds the pencil to my gallery. Again, you can choose the thickness of this. So let's do that, and we'll do the green color. You can see the preview of what that's going to look like. Now let's draw that. Oops, why is this? Hmm. For some reason, it's not recognizing my pencil here. I'll have to look into that. But this is what your lines would look like if you were using your pencil icon on here. I'm not sure why it is not recognizing that I have the pencil selected. All right, but I will look into that. You also have the option to convert your drawings into shapes. So I'm just going to add a new slide again, a new blank slide. I'm going to go back to my Draw tab, and I'm going to choose that purple pen that I had selected. Now, you need to specify that you're going to be converting your ink to shape before you start. So in this convert group, I have the option ink to shape, and I'm going to just click on that and that activates it. So now I can go ahead and draw a shape. Let me draw a heart. I'm going to stop inking. And now you can see when I turn that stop, when I stop inking, when I have this selected, my Drawing Tools Format Contextual tab is activated, signifying that this has been converted into a shape. So I'm going to go back to my Draw tab, and with that still turned on, choose my pen, and let's change this to green. I'm going to do a square, and that has been converted to a shape. Let's try a circle. Triangle. Sometimes, depending on the shape that you draw, it doesn't recognize it right away on what that shape is. So you can see that these filled in and these two did not. Really depends on how precise it is. So that it did recognize as the circle. Let's try the heart again. Did not recognize that. Let's try an arrow. It did recognize that. What else? We do have a smiley face shape. I highly doubt it would recognize that. It only recognized the circle right away. Maybe if I draw the face first. Nope. So certain ones, they will recognize. It really depends on how complex the shape is and how precise it is. Again, did not recognize this circle for me. All right, so you have the option of adding your different pens here, your highlighters and pencils. Again, I have to look into why that was not recognizing my pencil. You have your eraser here. Just click on that to activate it, and then you can click on any of your drawings that you want to remove from your slide, and it will do it piece by piece. And it's important when you're inking to shape, remember this stays activated until you turn it on. So if you didn't want to convert it to a shape anymore, click that to turn it off. And now when I draw my square, whoops, you can see it's not going to automatically convert that to a shape now. When I activate it again, it does recognize that square and converts it to me. So make sure you have it either activated or deactivated depending on what you're trying to do here. All right, so your next video will be activity 2.1 on page 20.